Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video I want to talk about the dangers of manifestation. So this is going to be a little bit controversial for those of you, especially like Gen Z. It's become really popular. Gen Z and late millennials, like people my age, it's become like really popular. People talk about the whole, oh, manifest this, I manifested, or oh, spend time with your friends, whatever, focus on you, blah blah blah. And I want to talk on both sides of this. So first off, I totally understand the concept. You're implying that instead of crying and whining about what you don't have, being angry and upset, this whole manifestation of just believe that, because you want these things, you're going to get these things and life is going to, be fine. It'll all work itself out. And I understand where people are getting at when they say this. But the problem with this whole thing is people don't understand that that's not the way real life works. And oftentimes the people that are telling you to manifest these things, they didn't manifest it themselves. They pretended like they were doing that online, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, but in actuality, they put in the work to get the results and ultimately get whatever they wanted. Whether that be a husband, whether that be a baby, whether that be friends. And I think that a lot of people just feel like, oh, well, it's just not my time to sit back and wait. And while there is some truth to that, because there's no use in stressing out and worrying over something that's just not going to happen right now, you do have to put in work. And I credit putting in work to how I personally got married and how I personally solved my own issues with friends. I went through long periods of time here in Japan being completely by myself, having no friends, no one to talk to, nothing at all. No boyfriend, no job, like just nothing. And it wasn't until I decided, okay, I want these things. I can't just sit back and say, oh, I'd really like to have some Japanese friends, or I'd really like to have a boyfriend, or, I really want to have whatever. I had to put in work. And that meant actually going out by myself. That meant downloading apps, taking risks, taking chances, meeting people, going on dates, doing language exchanges, going to parties, doing things that I didn't feel comfortable doing. And I want to talk about a few different things in this video, actually, because that's one of them too. I hear people say all the time, and I also read it too. Sorry, you guys. I had to cough. I started choking. I had some, I can tell that crap. But anyway, I'm doing laundry, so sorry if you could hear that. But yeah, I was saying that I read all the time people, talking about how they, don't want to use dating apps. They don't want to go to parties. And not just for the purpose of dating, even for making friends. People don't want to do language exchanges. They don't want to go to international parties. They don't want to go to bars. They don't want to stay late after work. They don't want to do anything. And it's like, the only way you're going to meet someone if they were to literally come, rush through your apartment and force you to sit down and talk to them. You might think, oh, I'd welcome that. But let's be real, that's not going to happen. So it's like, if you avoid going to any of the places where you're going to make friends, you avoid learning the language of the country that you're in, which will help you be able to talk to and communicate people like an adult, how do you plan to make friends? How do you plan to date? And going back to the dating part, I've said this in other videos before, but it's like, you literally spend all of your free time hanging around groups, or even if it's just one other person, but especially groups of foreigners. That is extremely intimidating to a man. Or if you're a man, vice versa. Who's going to want to approach you and talk to you like this? You have to be proactive. That's what it really comes down to. And a lot of people sit down, oh, I'm an introvert. It's like, okay, well then apparently you don't want friends. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you decide that you're going to keep your mouth shut, you're going to stay at home, not going to do anything, just going to mope around and be sad and depressed, you're not going to get married. You're not going to make friends. It's not going to happen to you. A lot of people try for some time. I was one of them. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm done. I give up. That was definitely me. And it's like, if every time things don't go your way, it doesn't work out the way you want it to, if you make friends with somebody, then it doesn't work out, and they turn out to be a bad friend of yours, and you just give up, decide you're not going to have friends, then okay, go ahead and be a sore loser and a quitter, and I guess you won't find Japan enjoyable. But it's like, You have to put in work. You're an adult. You're not a baby anymore. If you want friends, you want a partner, you have to get out there and, well, find them. And just like with a job, do you decide you're never going to work again a day in your life because your job was bad? Or do you recognize, okay, this job is bad, but maybe I can find a better job that'll treat me better, pay me better, give me more vacation time, whatever. And there are some people that do choose to just never work again. They're done with it. And that's cool too if you're going to have a business. But it's like, if you have nobody supporting you, what happens? You become homeless, right? So you have some sort of drive and motivation to make you get back out there, find another job, or create a business where you can support yourself. So, yeah, I hate this whole manifestation thing because I feel like it does a couple of things. One, it's misleading. It makes people think that because they are not getting what they want, even though they've been manifesting it, something's wrong with them. They're cursed. They shouldn't be here. I feel like it aids to people wanting to end their lives or feeling depressed or anxious, etc. I feel like it really does help with that because all you're seeing is everyone online talking about, oh, I manifested this or I manifested that or whatever. And I know that people have even said it to me and they mean it in a positive way, but I want to tell you, no, I ain't manifest shit. I worked my ass off. That's what I did. I went through years of being depressed and anxious and being broke and going through heartbreak and getting played and used, etc. I worked my ass off to get to where I am. I deserve everything I have. There is nothing that I got that I did not work for and that I did not earn. Trust me, I went through hell to get where I am. Yes, things can and do happen by chance. For example, meeting my husband was technically by chance, but then again, it wasn't. I met him because I worked my butt off. I went through constant bad situations, bad breakups. I left good jobs to make my way back to Tokyo. You're not getting what you want in life, not because you're a bad person, God hates you, you're not the chosen one. That's not the reason why. It's because you're not working hard enough. And you might think I am working hard enough, but you're not. What more could you be doing? I told you guys in a previous video that I discovered that one of the big things that was hurting me was I refused to download pairs. If I didn't download pairs and I can't even call it pride. I just felt lazy. A combination of pride, laziness, and I don't need this. And because of that, if I were to have stayed that way, I would have never met my now husband. Because I met him through pairs. I felt that the app was not favorable to foreigners and definitely not towards a black person or a black woman at that. I couldn't read Japanese back then. Even now, I can understand everything on that app. I had to decide, are you going to keep being lazy and make up excuses, or do you want to give it a shot in the hopes of getting married? Your time is valuable. And the people telling you to just sit back, oh, relax, it'll come to you, No, it will not come to you. People that work their butts off, they can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the future. You are using examples of lucky people that have rare circumstances where they got what they wanted in life. And honestly, even those rare circumstances, I promise you, they're leaving out tons of details, tons of holes in their story, where you don't know everything they really did to get what they wanted. That's the reality. If you want a partner, you want friends, you have to prioritize that. And I talked about this before. But I also want to say, this idea of manifesting things and self-care, focusing stuff, whatever, this is depression talk, honestly. This is good when you're feeling sad, but it's not a long-term solution. Excuse me. It's not a long-term solution. It's great to focus on taking care of your body, exercising, dieting, drinking more water, getting more sunlight, reading, writing. Those are great things to do. I promise you it is, and it's definitely helped me. But I will say it's not a long-term solution. It's a temporary fix. Doing yoga, drinking water, and exercising, unless you go meet your man at the gym, which, hey, that's possible. But even then, you have to take the effort normally to talk to the person too. Like, it's not just going out and taking care of yourself and then things suddenly happen. It's not the way that it goes. And my fear is that a lot of people, and I'm seeing it now in Japan already, have spent their whole lives, here in Japan in particular, 5, 10, 20 years, focusing on themselves and manifesting, and they end up with nothing. These are the people that you see in forums desperately asking, oh, I was talking to this guy and he hasn't messaged me back in 3 days, but our date is tonight. Do you think I should still get dressed? People saying dumb stuff like that. Those are those people, the manifestors. The ones that were focusing on their friends in their life. And while you're busy focusing on hanging out with your girls and having fun with your girlfriends, they're busy getting husbands and leaving you behind. I hate to put it this way and say it bluntly, but for a lot of you, you are literally a stepping stone in your friend's life. Your friends' lives. They are using you for comfort, for fun, for entertainment, as a therapeutic counseling session. When they find their husband, bye-bye, they're gone. It's not necessarily because they're really using you, but they recognize their goal in life is to focus on having and getting a husband and becoming a wife. Your goal is focusing on your friends and trying to pretend like your cat is going to replace having a husband, or like, you know, your dog is a replacement for having a man or boyfriend, whatever. And nowadays people are saying, oh, you know, hang out with your friends, everything you can do with your man, you can do with your friends, etc. I promise you, going on a vacation with your friends is not the same as going on a vacation with your man, especially not a husband. Just keeping it real with you. It is a very different experience. Yes, it can be fun to hang out with your friends. I'm telling you, not have friends, not to focus on them at all. But you have to prioritize what you want in life. Your friends will move on. They will grow up. They will get married. They will start families. And even if they don't, you have to ask yourself, do you not want a husband? Which would you rather have? Would you rather have your best friends, or do you want a man? And if your friends are being honest, even if you're crazy enough to say, oh, I care more about my friends, your friends most certainly don't. Those same people that you think you would die for, they would gladly give you up for a husband. I would gladly give you up for a husband. Just keeping it real. You might say, oh, well, then, you know, you ain't shit, whatever. No, it's real. That's how most people think and feel. Your partner should come first in your life. And I'm not talking about the unicorn rainbow girls. Oh, I don't want a partner. I want a dog, or I want to be by myself, whatever. Okay, that's cool. We're talking about not the unicorn girls that are like, oh, you know, I don't want these things. The average woman does want to get married. The average woman does want to have children. And if you know you are the average woman and you want these things, you need to prioritize these things. Meaning that you don't just sit back and say, oh, it'll come to me. Because the other downside about doing this is, I talked about this before, I do not make the rules. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And I say this as somebody that is now in the so-called danger zone myself. The older you get, the harder it is to get married. And the harder it is to find a good man that is willing to marry you. And normally when you do find those good men that are willing to marry you, now they come with baggage. You have to deal with baby mama drama, lots of debt, lots of emotional baggage, histories of all type of crap. They usually don't make as much money either, because they're good men with no kids, with good careers, with a good education. They've already been snatched up by younger women while you were busy manifesting and hanging out with your girls. They were getting snatched up. The good men that you wanted to marry. And I know some hoe is going to be in the comments and tell you, oh, that's not true. It worked for me. I got married at 47. That's nice for you, sweetheart. But let's be realistic. That is not going to happen for even half, not even a quarter of the girls that will read your comment or watch your video. Japan can be a really big trap for a lot of people. Because for a lot of people, I notice when they can't get what they want in a man, they start just doing weird shit. I found myself doing this even before I came to Japan. And not to say that I don't like it, because to be honest, if I ever go back to the US, and I probably will, for some point in my life, I'm not going to live there forever, I absolutely loved collecting anime stuff, figurines, video game stuff. I love nostalgic stuff. I love collecting stuff. And I found myself finding joy in watching anime, eating candy, collecting figurines, video games, old stuff from my childhood. It made me happy. And it helped me forget about my ex-boyfriend. It helped me accept the fact that I was going to be alone. I did this for a couple of years. And it's part of what even fueled my want for going to Japan. And then I snapped out of it. And I thought to myself, look at yourself. Look at how fat you're getting. Look at how depressed and miserable and bored you are. Do you really want 6,000 figurines? Or do you want an actual husband? Do you want a boyfriend? Do you want to have a life? There's people watching this that don't even have friends. They literally, like, their life is just anime, video games, those Ultimate games, Midnight Cinderella type stuff. Yes, I'm talking to you. That was me. I'm not saying this to put you down, but I'm saying that I was in your position and I had to get myself out of it because everyone around me is preaching the same TikTok garbage back then, Instagram garbage. Oh, manifestation. Oh, if you believe you're gonna have this, you'll get. That's not how the real world works. It doesn't work that way. You want something, you have to work for it. Whether it be putting yourself out there to get it or physically working to make the money to get it. And the more time you waste manifesting, hanging out with your girls, adopting cats and dogs, you are literally making it harder to meet someone. In fact, in Japan, they actually say that people that choose to adopt like a cat or a dog, I'm not even talking about Kevin Samuels, this is Japanese thinking, it's the same as the US. They believe, in fact I say it's worse, people that have a pet, it makes it where you can't date. People don't normally want to date you. And when I come to think of it, that's pretty true. I can't think of many people here that have a cat or dog that got into a relationship after they got a pet. Normally getting a pet is something you get after you have a partner. It's just like having children. It's a lot harder in Japan to date when you are a single mother. Even a single father, but especially a single mother. Because people normally want to build and create families after you've gotten married. And this is not to bash people that are single moms. I'm not getting into all of that crap. I'm just telling you, like I said, don't hate the player, hate the game. Telling you how people think how the world works. As a woman, time is not in your favor. You get to fly by on life based off of your looks and your age. But both of those things do fade over time. And it's not a matter of, oh, well, I want a man that's like that, whatever, blah, blah. Okay, we ain't even get into all of that garbage. We talked about this side of other videos before. But what I will say is, it's not about what you want, what you like, what you think. It's about what they like, what they want, and what they think. And a lot of you that are manifesting, you don't just want a husband. You want a specific type of man. You want a man to be this tall, making this much money, having this sort of career, not having any baggage. Why do you think a man that's like 30 or 40 years old would want a 30, 40-year-old woman your age when they can get a younger woman with less baggage than what you have? Ask yourself that. What's special about you that a younger woman wouldn't bring? That men actually find attractive. And women don't often think about that. Not to mention, again, when you are busy with your girls all the time, most men don't want to take a chance at even approaching you. It takes a lot of confidence. And women, say whatever about that, but it's like, okay, most women don't even have the balls to ask a man out because they fear rejection. They're not used to dealing with rejection. They're used to just sitting back and men coming to them. And I'm not suggesting that you go and approach men, but I'm saying, okay, you understand how rejection feels. Imagine how that feels getting rejected in front of a whole group of men. Being laughed at, teased, taunted, whatever. Now, keep that in mind and put yourself in a foreign country. That's what you're asking a man to do here. You're expecting Toto to come up to you while you're around 6 other foreign women and pick you out of the bunch. Not to mention, I'm just going to keep it real with you, your girls are competition for you. Just being real. Because even if a man probably would have approached you, when he gets the chance to choose between you and your hot friend, he probably going to make a beeline over to her over you. I'm keeping it real. Nobody wants to talk about that, but I'm just saying. I'm not telling you to drop your friends and hang out with them, but I gotta be real. If you want to get married, you're looking for a man, it's probably not a good idea to hang out with girls that look better than you do, going to bars, clubs, etc. Because you are either gonna not attract people that are serious and just look for somebody to sleep with, or number 2, people that probably would have dated you, giving you a chance, whatever, they're going to be more interested in your friend than you. So not to make you jealous of her or whatever, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm just keeping it real with you. It would be like if you're looking for a good job and you tell your friend, hey, I found this really good company. Let's both apply to it. Now, sure, you can be happy for your friend if they got the job, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you really wanted to have, like let's say your dream job. My dream job used to be working for Sega. If I found a really good position available that I was a perfect fit for, I am not going to tell my friend, hey, put your resume together, let's apply at the same time. Not because I'm a hater, I'm trying to stop their bag, but I recognize, shoot, my friend went to a better university than me. They're better at programming. They're better, with graphic design, whatever. I don't want them to potentially take this job for me. I did the hard work. This is my goal, my plan, and I'm sorry, but my history teacher taught me this, and I totally agree. You have to be selfish to survive. You want a husband? You gotta put yourself first. You ain't gotta sabotage your friends, but you have to recognize, look, we both want a man. We need to spend some time separately, okay? Because the reality is, even if you think both of you are bad bitches, men don't see it that way. They see one is looking better than the other. You can both be bad in the eyes of a man, but one of you looks better than the other. And that girl that looks better, she's going to be the one that gets attention. So unless you the bad friend, and I'm sorry, again, take a step back, because a lot of girls, they don't want to judge themselves. Oh, girl, you fine too. You a bad bitch too. Girls lie to them friends all the time. Girls lie to themselves. Excuse me. There's a lot of women that think they're attractive or think they look better than they really do because men want to smash them. And it's like, what men will F is low. It's true. They will sleep with anything and anyone. Do not think that you are bad because men want you. You probably have large breasts, a fat ass. It ain't got nothing to do with you actually being attractive. Facially, you're ugly. Probably nothing special about you. Men are desperate, they're horny, they'd rather save money. Sex is sex, they don't care. Would they rather have a more attractive, younger, better looking body girl? Yeah, of course. But would they rather shell out hundreds of dollars to get that? Nope. This is why these men will smash you in private and after they don't know you in public. Excuse me. But you see it all the time, especially with plus size women, and they don't get it. It's like, no, it's not a matter of him being ashamed of what his likes are. He's not into you at all. He's just using you because you're easy. And nobody wants to talk about that. But that's a whole other topic, not for this video. But I do want to say that, yeah, like, your friends can really be sabotaging you when it comes to dating. Because a mixture of you being passed over for your friend and people being intimidated and not being willing to talk to you and approach you because you're always with other girls. Or especially men. And also keep in mind that when you're hanging out with other girls or other men, not only do people might think that, you're in a relationship or dating, but they might even think you're just busy. You're having fun with your friends. You're not looking for a partner. You're just enjoying yourself, having a good time. So yeah, some people will still hit you, will still talk to you, but not everyone. You need to be trying to maximize your options. Same thing goes with friends. People will say, oh, I want Japanese friends. I want Japanese friends. Okay. What Japanese girl is going to come up to you while you're with a group of like 3, 5, 10 other women that are also foreigners? The average Japanese woman will also feel intimidated. She's not the one to approach you and try to be your best friend. What will help you is being by yourself. So many people are afraid of being alone. And this is where I'm going to contradict myself. It's okay to work on yourself and do things by yourself and to spend time alone, but it's also important to limit how much time you're doing this. If you're always doing stuff, just taking care of yourself, coming back home, not doing anything special, when are you going to meet people? If you're always having self-care trips with your friends, when are you going to have time for a guy to come up and approach you and ask you out and, ask if you can go out for drinks or ask you out to dinner? When is that going to happen? You're making it very unlikely, especially in a country like Japan. So, and then I'm not even adding to the fact, but language barriers. People will cry about not having Japanese friends or wanting Japanese friends, but then they don't want to learn Japanese. And keep in mind, while a lot of people do want to use you for English lessons to have, free language exchange, a lot of people don't have any interest in learning English and or they cannot speak any English. Thus, being friends with you becomes a burden because they can't talk freely. A lot of you don't even understand cultural differences. That's annoying too for your Japanese friend. So, yeah, please stop with this whole manifestation thing. It's literally a recipe for disaster. And you're literally setting yourself up for failure, especially as a woman. Manifestation does not work. Men cannot manifest having money and careers and having bad bitches all over their arms. They have to work their ass off to get fine women. They go to school. They get good jobs. They work their way up the career ladder. They earn the women that are attracted to them. You have to do the same thing. It's okay to have friends. It's okay to hang out with your friends. It's okay to go on vacations with your friends. But you shouldn't be prioritizing this, and it shouldn't take up most of your time. Especially when you're at an age when you want to get married, like especially girls that are in their 20s. I still mentally feel like I'm 20 years old, like when I first came here, and I'm on my way to being 30 now. I am now in my late 20s. I can't even believe that. It's crazy. Time goes by so fast. You have to be very careful. Because while you're busy self-caring and taking, friend trips, etc., the men that you want are being taken one by one. You're missing out. You're making things hard for yourself. This is where you have people getting desperate and just marrying anyone for the sake of being married, having babies by anyone for the sake of having a baby. I totally understand. I thought about these things too, keeping it real with you. I'm not saying to speak on my high horse. I understand where you are coming from. But I'm telling you, while your mother, your aunt, your friends, your coworkers might think that they have your best interests and might mean well, their advice is bad. Do not put these things off. Do not wait. And I'm sorry, you are not young. Once you get to be 24 years old, you are no longer quite exactly that young. It's not just what some old black man, Kevin Samuels, think. No, I'm talking about real life. Especially once you exit your 20s. Because now you have to think. For most people's relationships, you need somewhere between 1 to 3 years just to date the person and get them to propose to you, or at least be willing to marry you. Then you need additional 1 to 3 years just to get pregnant, because most people don't want to have a baby right away after getting married. You also have to factor in that a relationship can end. You can break up. So now you went from being 24 to being 26, 27, and now you're single again. Do you really want to keep doing that? And that's just if you break up one time. What if another guy wastes 3 years of your life again? Do you see what I'm saying? You're making things have more and more pressure for you. There are literally women here in their mid-30s, early 40s, and late 40s struggling to have children because they put off these things. They prioritize having friends, traveling, going to cafes, etc. You can do that at any point in your life, but what you can't do easily, naturally, in an affordable way is have children. I talked about this stuff before, but nobody wants to go through IVF. Nobody wants to use a surrogate, and things like that aren't even normal here in Japan. IVF is becoming more normalized because people are waiting longer. But even then, a lot of people that try to get this stuff done, one, they can't afford it, and two, it doesn't always work. It also limits the number of children you can have because it's based on how much money you have to afford these things. People experience infertility at different stages throughout their life. Some people are born that way. Some people develop it with age. You have higher risk pregnancies at 35 and over. You risk your child having issues, physically, mentally, birth defects. There's so many different things you have to go through. We are not made to have children in your 30s. I'm just keeping it real. Can you do it? Yes. But no, it's not normal, not natural. I don't care what other people are doing, what other people are saying. It's literally scientific. This is not me being sexist. This is not me preaching what some man said. No, I'm telling you, this is the truth. Look it up yourself. And while some people might have success with doing these things, it doesn't work for a lot of women. And you don't want to be one of them. Don't desperately just throw yourself with someone to get married, but prioritize dating so that you can get married. And think about your standards. Evaluate them. What are you doing wrong? What can you improve on? And beyond just marriage, friends. So many people here are miserable, depressed, and sad here in Japan. And it's like, okay, you don't want to learn Japanese. You don't want to go to parties. So, how do you expect this to happen? You're just going to manifest and say, oh, I'll make friends. I'll just go to the grocery store and I'll just go to school. That's not the way that it works. You have to talk to people. You have to join clubs. You have to do things for people. If you're not willing to, then sorry, but sitting back and manifesting, doing yoga, reading random Japanese cults, etc., is not going to magically gift you friends. It doesn't work that way. So that's all I really want to say. I just want to tell you guys, please stop trying to do all this manifestation stuff, and don't follow people on YouTube or Instagram telling you that they manifested whatever, because they didn't. They worked for what they got, and I promise you, if they didn't work for what they got, they are literally the exception and not the rule. Extremely lucky, and in most circumstances they were not lucky. They just left out a lot of important information. They made you think they just manifested this, when in actuality they took steps to meet whoever they met. For example, I can think to myself, oh, my husband just came to me, and I do kind of feel that way, but realistically, no. I took the step of downloading pairs. I took the step of orchestrating a date. If I did not do anything, if I didn't download that app, if I didn't reply to his message, if I didn't do anything, I wouldn't have met him. I had to take the first step by downloading the app Pairs. And after he was talking to me, he wanted to have a date. But I'm the one who decided, hey, how about we have that date today? I was like, hey, how about we have that date today? I had to do something about it. If I didn't take that step, everything could have been very different. If I didn't decide, I don't want to be in Osaka, there's nothing keeping me here anymore. If I were like a lot of women, especially black women, and say, well, I have a good Saturday job, I should at least finish the contract, let me stay here for one more year, it would have completely turned everything for me, because I would have missed out on the visa sponsor that I got. I probably wouldn't have had a need to use Pairs on that day at that time. My account probably wouldn't have gotten deleted, because I actually had to literally contact Pairs and try to get my account back. And if it wasn't for my account getting deleted and me making a new account, I would have never come across my now husband, because I've been using the app for like 2 years and I've been in Tokyo for a year using it. Never came across him. It wasn't until I downloaded it again and I was suggested to him, I came up as a recommendation for him to go on a date with. I took action. Now, sure, at that time, I wasn't even legitimately looking for a husband, technically. I was honestly just trying to go on a date. Of course, in the back of my mind, I wanted a husband. But do you see what I'm saying? I took action. Don't believe these people trying to mislead you and make you think that you have all the time in the world. Oh, you're young. Have fun with your friends. Life is about friends. Yeah, of course, it's enjoyable with friends and other people. Don't get me wrong. But with your husband, somebody that you're going to build for the rest of your life, that's even better. And people try to fearmonger you, oh, people's marriages end in divorce. Honestly, and I'll make a whole other video about that, a big reason why people's relationships end up in divorce is because people don't know how to communicate and talk like how they used to back in the day. I'm not even going to get into the topic of abusive situations, etc. But no, realistically, a lot of people throw in the towel too easily. We want perfect partners, and when our partner doesn't do everything perfect with us, we have an argument, we get into a fight, anything doesn't happen right, anything toxic that we call it nowadays, it takes place, and we're done. We throw in the towel, we're through, we get a divorce. That's why the divorce rate is so high. People have low tolerances nowadays. They don't know how to talk, they don't know how to communicate, and everybody wants to get their way. People can't compromise, people can't talk, people don't know how to say I'm sorry and mean it, people don't know how to forgive each other. And now people are fear-mongering you, oh, don't get the government involved. The government can actually protect you a lot. You end up losing even more by not being married. I cannot tell you how many women that I went to school with are now single mothers because they thought marriage wasn't important. They got nothing out of them breaking up. Maybe some child support here and there. No assets, no nothing. Waste of your time, waste of your money, waste of your body. And now who wants to be with you? A single mother with no marriage and 5 kids. But marriage is a piece of paper. And then it's funny because then for these women, when it happens, then they want to get married after things didn't work out with that guy. They convince themselves they didn't want to get married to because he didn't want marriage. Don't put off what you want because other people have brainwashed you, convinced you, persuaded you into believing, oh, you don't need to get married. Oh, you don't need a ring. You don't need whatever. Or even friends. You have Japanese people. Oh, you need to speak Japanese. I can speak English with you. What happens when they move on? When they learn enough English from you and they choose to go to the US, go to Canada, go to Australia, go to the UK? They're going to stay in contact with you and still be your friend, or are they going to move on? Probably going to move on. You're going to wish you had learned Japanese. What happens when you move, when you fall out with them? Don't be lazy. Take the time now to focus on yourself, to build yourself up, to get into a relationship, to build yourself up, to make friends. But don't take too much time. There are people that are literally spending 5 years, 10 years here. Just working. Just having fun, eating chicken wings and drinking cocktails with the girls. Your time is ticking away. And for what you want, you need other people to be willing to sign up and be on board. You want friends? You need other people to decide, hey, I want to be your friend too. You want a husband? You need somebody else to decide, hey, I want to be your husband. It's not about what you want. It's about what you can get. That's what it really comes down to. So, I'm done. All I want to say again is just manifestation is not a realistic approach. It's not real. It's fake. It's literally just TikTok, Instagram talk. It doesn't work in real life. You want real things, you have to do real work to get real results. That's how reality works, and that's just life for you. You want a husband, you work to get a husband, and you don't do that for 2-3 years or even a year. You can literally get yourself together in a week. You don't need 6 months, 3 months, 10 months of self-care. You are putting yourself back out there a year older. It's hard to make friends as an adult. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You have to join groups. You have to join clubs. You have to go to parties. You have to talk. You can't just sit back and be a wallflower, because unfortunately, while you can get lucky and an extroverted person can adopt you, for the most part, people aren't even going to notice your existence. You have to get comfortable with being alone to be included. That's the reality. Most people do not see a group of people together and say, hey, how about I invite all of these people to be my friend? It doesn't work that way. And they're definitely not going to pick you out of the crowd in most circumstances. Even if you're the most beautiful out of your group of friends, you're not going to be seen. People will be too busy having fun, doing their thing, and looking for people that seem by themselves, that seem more approachable. You don't look approachable when you're with a group of other girls. Especially not with a group of men. People don't know if you're single, if you're taken, if you're looking for a partner. It's confusing. It's intimidating. You have to think about that. Learn Japanese. It's easier said than done, but it's worth it. It'll make it easier to make genuine friends. And keep in mind, you're in a foreign country. You are the foreigner. The way that people make friends here is totally different. Don't let people use you, take advantage of you, and abuse you. But you do have to recognize and understand that not everybody's your friend just because you hang out with them, because you talk to them, whatever. There's different levels of friendship. Japanese people also don't communicate with their friends the same way or as frequently as we do in the US. So that's it. Please stop manifesting and actually work on yourself and go after what you really want. Work to get it. It's okay if it doesn't work out the first time, second time, 100th time, 1,000th time. Keep going. You will get what you want. That's how manifestation works. Manifestation does not work by you just saying, oh, I really want a husband. Let me make my vision board. Okay, I'll get a husband. That's not how reality works. That's not real. The girlies on TikTok are lying to you. So, I'm through. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I make videos talking about Japan, working, studying, dating, living here. You can check out my playlist. I have a playlist on just about everything here in Japan. I've probably already made a video answering your question, but if you have another question or a topic that you would like to see me talk about, please leave a comment down below, or you can send me an email directly. Please email it to me. Do not DM. Otherwise, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat and TikTok at Comic the Savior. I have a Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior, and a blog at Comic95.com. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video.